Well, we've got Roberto Mancini, Firebirds overage defenseman, with us now. And Mance, it's been quite a ride for you in this league. You've been now very largely a Saginaw Spirit, and then this year, 3 different teams. I want to start all the way back at the beginning of your OHL career. When you get drafted by the Spirit, where were you? What were your thoughts? Just kind of take me through the moment.
I think that day was just pretty exciting to get drafted, but I think like the start of it, woke up early, watched the first couple rounds, and then the site actually crashed. So it was a little bit really like, oh, what's going on, kind of with my parents. And I was a good player back then, and kind of just my parents were, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Keep a good space in your mind, continue to play, just keep working. And I was just like pretty persistent on saying like, no, I'm going to get picked. I'm going to be a great player. Like I'm going to kind of blossom into what I have now. But they actually ended up going grocery shopping. Like they just left. So I was just on the phone with my cousins, just kind of talking, messing around with them, just watching. And then they came back. I helped them unload all the groceries they bought. And then we kind of just sat down, made whatever for lunch. And we just had the phone beside me on the stool. And next thing I know, I just saw my name pop up from Saginaw. I was like, wow. I turned to my mom. I was like, Dad, she just got drafted. So we kind of like jumped up, got excited about it. But I think that's just a good story, like them kind of leaving on the day. And they had belief, but they left. So I was like, okay, thanks. And then kind of just from there, went from rookie camp, thought I had a great camp. And then they said, yeah, come to main camp. And then I never had an agent or anything like that, so I actually spoke to the teams myself on the cell phone. So I remember one of the teams called and I was playing video games, and then I had like 4 teams I spoke to, and SAG was one of them. So it was pretty unique, I guess, to say that I spoke to them myself and kind of advised for my own self, and then got picked. Went to main camp. I didn't think I did the best ever. Like, could have shown better, but it was definitely a good camp, like the way they based it and how they had it. And then the last day, they just kind of said, go last in the line for exit meetings. And I was like, all right, sounds good. And then I walked in, sat down with Drinko, Lazary, and Prouder. And they said, these talks either go good or bad for people. So like instantly in my head, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going back home. And they said, for you, this is going great. We're signing you. And I just didn't really know how to like show emotions. I kind of just sat there on the couch with no smile, no nothing. I was like screaming inside, excitement. But they're like, you can smile. And I was like, yeah, sorry. I don't really know how to react right now. So and then it kind of just took off from there, and it was really quick. Kind of went home, grabbed my stuff, right back.
Do you remember what kind of sandwich it was for lunch?
It's probably an Italian sandwich, I bet you. I think they knew it was a little bit of a stressful day, so they probably got some of my favorite stuff from the store. But yeah, it's probably a good sandwich. It helped.
Have you kind of chided your parents about that over the years at all, or is it just like, oh, that's the funny story?
Yeah, it came up a couple times for family events. Like someone's like, wow, like your life kind of really changed from that moment. And I was like, yeah. I was like, my parents left me too on that day. So it's kind of just been like a little funny side joke about it. But yeah, I think they were really excited, and they like had the belief as well. So
you were with Saginaw for a good chunk there, most of your OHL career. When you kind of look back at your time with the Saginaw Spirits, what are your emotions for that?
I think it's a lot of like excitement, enjoyment. Those are kind of like lifelong friends I've made, being there for so long. I was the first billet for my new billet family there. I believe I'm their last one that they're going to have for a bit, but they really made it like a home for me right away. Like never moved away from home when I was 16. Kind of came in there, and they were just like, you're the big brother now for the 2 kids. And I just instantly felt like at home, because I have an older sister, and I was kind of the younger guy, but then I went there and I was the older guy, so they looked up to me. So it was kind of like nice to have that little balance at home. And I think it was different moving away, because you always ask your parents. So like when I was there, I'd ask my billet parents the same, like, can I go here? Can I go here? And they're like, you don't need to ask. And I was like, no, it's just kind of what I've been brought up doing. So I think I helped them learn stuff too, and then they kind of helped me learn. So especially with school, like how it worked there. My billet parents were both very smart, so they kind of helped me manage through all that along with my parents and then the guidance counselor there.
The billet relationship is something that I think a lot of people who don't work or be around this league really quite comprehend. But the fact that, here you are, a 16-year-old kid, you're moving to a different country because you're coming into Michigan and going to Saginaw, and you don't know these people, but the fact that they made it feel like home, like, do you just feel lucky? Do most people have that exact experience, or do you think you're one of the really lucky ones?
I think I'm actually like one of the really lucky ones. Even in Windsor too, like obviously I'm older now, so I can kind of find my own path if I needed to, like around the rink and whatnot, but still, like, we're young, so I think even when I went to Windsor, I got amazing billets there too, and it was instantly like, what food do you like? And this is what we eat, this is what we do, and I'm like, okay, this is what I kind of like, and this is what I kind of do, so it just like really meshed well. So, and then coming here, obviously with my billets now, I'm living with Smitty, so I'm extremely close with him. We work out in the summer, so everything's just, I've had like 3 amazing billet families that made it feel like home for me, and just like making me feel really at ease everywhere I go. So it's like I have a safe space to kind of come home after. If I need to vent, I can vent. If I need to do something, I can do something, and just kind of move around freely. So it's been great for me.
You have been traded twice in your OA season. I can't imagine that's easy. You're especially starting with Saginaw, and then you get moved in November to Windsor, and then you come here at the trade deadline. Can you kind of walk me through what this year has been?
It's been like a roller coaster, I'd say. I think it was a lot getting traded from Saginaw, just being there for 5 years. It kind of came out of nowhere, I'd say. Like, we were just doing a season ticket holder event, and then kind of walked in, got called in the office. Then I kind of figured something was probably up. If the GM was kind of there at 9 o'clock at night, I was like, he has a board in the room, so he has all the teams and all the players of their age. So I was like kind of looking through teams. I was like, what team would I kind of be going to? And then he said Windsor, and I think it was just hard to kind of adjust like super quickly. I had to go home that day, pack, like say bye to my billets like really quickly, say bye to all the guys, and then I was gone the next day, and then playing a 3-3 with Windsor. So then I kind of had to really kick it into high gear to adjust, and I think it was hard, even being older. Like, it's still really hard to adjust moving from one place where I've been for 4 years and had all my memories and whatnot, and then picking up, moving right away, and then I think that's where my billets over there in Windsor came in, and they're unbelievable for me. Kind of just like letting me have my own space, but also like letting me know that they're there for me. And then coming here, I got a text, and then they said, we think you're probably going to be going to Flint. And I'm like, that'd be crazy. Like, playing in Saginaw for so long, I never would imagine kind of coming here. But I've lived in Michigan for 5 years now, I can say, and I love every second of it, and I consider myself a Michigan person. So I've loved every second of being here, and will continue it, and I think it's been great. I love being on the other side of the rivalry now. You
talking about the rivalry, what were your impressions of here and playing here when you were with Saginaw?
I think I'd get, like, obviously the rivalry, you're like, oh, I hate this team. Like, we want to win for our fans, you want to win for our team. But I think every time we played here, it's just like something to look for, like, too. Like, the fans are nuts here. Like, they're always loud, they're yelling, they're in your ear. Like, fans are chirping you on the bench, and as much as you want to try and zone that out, like, you really can't. Like, the fans are pretty persistent here on letting you know what they have to say, and it's always the loudest place, and you know the fans are going to show up for that rivalry. So now being on the other side, it's like I get that every night kind of thing, like all that fan support, all the yelling, all this, like the cheering, the screams, and it's like, it's pretty impressive to hear and see how dedicated they are, and you kind of want to turn it up a notch when something's not going your way, and you're like, I want to play for you guys. When you first arrived here after the trade, at the trade deadline, I remember something really sticks in my mind from a conversation, an interview that we did, and when I asked about the rivalry and like showing the fans, you said to show what kind of a player I am and how mean I can be. Yeah. Do you feel like it took you long to win them over? Do you think they immediately saw what kind of a player you are and how mean you can be? Yeah, I've had a couple interactions upstairs with them, and all of them are great, but I think some fans are the ones that are pretty more into it about like the physical side of me. They're like, I hated watching you play in Saginaw, I couldn't stand you, and now it's like we love having you here and being that mean physical presence for us and being that player that you are. So I think that kind of puts a smile on my face. Like, everything's great when someone says you're a great player, you're skilled, but I think when someone kind of says that, it rubs my shoulder the nice way, and I'm just like, I appreciate you actually watching that part of my game as well. It's not just somebody who's looking at more than just how many points do you have, right? Yeah, that's that really does feel like an ultimate compliment for a rugged defenseman. Yeah, exactly.
You have got to go back to Saginaw twice, I believe it is, once with Windsor and once with Flint. What was that like?
I think with Windsor it was more emotional. I think just being there for so long. It's like I've never played here technically against Saginaw, so it was a very emotional game, and I just wanted to beat them as bad as I could. Like, as much as all those guys are my friends and all that, as soon as the puck drops, it's time to win. It's time to be with my team. This is my team. These are my brothers. So I think that switch kind of flipped really quickly. And with Flint, when we just went back, I was like, okay, let's beat them. Like, I want to crush them. Like, they traded me kind of thing. So it's like, let's crush them. Like, show them what we're about now. And we might have lost it, but I think if we get them in a series, we'll be good.
What's next for you?
Pro, hopefully. Pursuing wherever deal I kind of get. Hopefully the AHL, obviously, and even if it's the East Coast League or whatnot, it's exactly what I'd play and kind of work my way up through the ranks. I think my whole career's kind of been an underdog story, just from where I started and where I'm kind of am now. And I think I'm just gonna have the longer route to where I want to be, but just keep pushing and kind of climb the ranks of each league, and hopefully, obviously, get to the ultimate goal of the NHL. And if not, end up in Europe or somewhere else, just playing great hockey and continuing my game.
You're a hockey player who's going to play hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
Mance, it's been a pleasure watching you play, and we'll be watching you on the steps along the way, and hopefully you have a little bit longer to watch you this spring.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.